This project is to try to automatically process cardiovascular MRI using artificial intelligence known as deep networks or deep learning in our case. So we speak here about myocardial viability. The definition, more or less, of myocardial viability is the capacity of the myocardium to recover its functionality upon revascularization after myocardial infarction. And we can evaluate the myocardial viability thanks to MRI with two types of techniques: the cine MRI that allow us to have an idea of the thickening of the muscles, and also what we call delay enhancement MRI, or DE-MRI, that is a method of choice to detect and evaluate the extent of a myocardial infarction. So the problem is currently there is a lot of work to automatically process cine MRI, but not a lot, maybe no, to automatically process delay MRI, and this is the objective for this project. So the main objective is relatively simple, is to automatically segment the different relevant areas on this image, means the myocardium, the muscles at the level of the left ventricle, the myocardial infarctions, if present, and what we call the persistent microvascular obstructions, known as no reflow, the worst cases of myocardial infarctions, from delay enhancement MRI, in the case of the management of myocardial infarctions. And the idea is to develop tools that can be usable after the proof of concept and to integrate the solution in a software dedicated to image post-processing, the KIR software developed by a company in Dijon, the Cassis company. So here, the consortium, I would like to say at the beginning, I will make a comment after, because people then integrate the project after. So we come from the INVIA laboratory at the University of Burgundy, FemtoST, mainly people from Belfort. So there is a staff from the Cassis company. The interest also to have the Cassis company in the project. We can use the tools that they ever develop and not start at the beginning. And then the University Hospital of Dijon, mainly for the management of the data. So in a glance, here's the global organization, and maybe the more important step are the one in green and in purple. The two main steps are the automatic detection of the myocardium on all the image, and if present, detect the disease and try to quantify the disease. And as we use artificial intelligence, the problem with artificial intelligence is to have a lot of data to learn a network. Then the start of the project is to develop a big database, because there is no database about this kind of image, to allow to train a network to make deep learning. And then the idea, we develop the network, validate the project, and integrate the project in a commercial software. So today, all the MR examination come from the University Hospital of Dijon. So this is what we call short axis slices covering the left ventricle. So this is the this kind of slices. So it's not evident to retrieve all the information. In fact, the left ventricle is here in dark, the cavity are in bright. Why the cavity appears in bright? Because we acquire the data after injection of a contrast agent. And on the data, the normal heart is like that, and there is an abnormal uptake of the contrast agent at the level of myocardial infarction. And when we call about no reflow, this is here, this is the worst thing. This is a black area surrounded by bright area. So we have more or less 300 exams. It means 2,000 images with the knowledge of all the contours. Means we did the manual contouring of the myocardium on all the slices, also of the myocardial infarctions, if present, and also of the no reflow here in orange. So moreover, on 150 cases are it is patient coming from the emergency department of the University Hospital of Dijon, who have clinical characteristics that can be the age, the body mass index to see if there is overweight, risk factors as diabetes, hypertension, biological sampling as troponin, etc., also clinical index, etc. The idea, we think that with clinical characteristics, we can render more robust the automatic processing of the image. Here, first results are results. So the first step is to segment the myocardium on all the image. So we have two examples. You can see that the image is not always excellent. This is the real life, so the image can be with low contrast. This is the case in this example, with noise, with artifacts, etc. So this is the original image, what we expect, and this is intermediate results of network, and we call ensemble step. We merge information from the network to have the expect contour, and you can see visually that there is a good result between what we expect and what we detect. Once we detect the myocardium, the next step is to detect the myocardial infarction. So we use again deep learning, so artificial intelligence. This kind of network is UNet. Network is often used in image processing. So this is the result of this specific network, and the result with, here's the result of the network, and we apply a post-processing to discard some false detection, and again, we are not so far from the expect labels. Moreover, as I said, what is very important is to develop a data set, and we work a lot last month to make a specific session during a big conference. The MICAI conference is, can say, the biggest conference for not medicine, for scientific people working in medical domain. And we organize what we call a challenge. So we provide for laboratories the same data set, and we ask them to provide the best results. So there is a contest, so we compare the result of different teams from the same data set. So we organized that. The challenge was 1 week ago. So a challenge called EMIDEX. There is a website, there is a link via the conference, and we provide to the conference, to the challengers, all the exam with the associated metadata, so what we call the clinical characteristics. And there is 2 contests. The first one is to segment all the image, and the second one, maybe more important, is to classify the exam between normal and pathologic one, and if it's a pathologic one, to make a quantification of the exam. So there was 13 laboratories from worldwide that participate to this challenge, and then we just publish currently the result for the 2 contests. So, and then here the first publication of this project. So the first publication is mainly dedicated to the data sets, to the database in articles, and then after there was a participation of a conference, international conference, and as I said at the beginning that the consortium changed a little, a lot of researchers joined us to work on this project. That's why the first name of the paper is not belong at the beginning of the consortium. So what are the next steps? So the main one is for the companies to integrate the developed tool in the KIR software. So we start now because we must validate this tool before. As we deal with real-life examination, it is not evident to produce something that works on every time. So today the objective is to have something that is robust and that provide a result that is can be validated for all the patients. And the problem with deep learning is it works on 95%, but the last 5%, the results are not credible. So we try to have 100% of results that are credible, not the best, but credible. So to do that, the best way is to test on other datasets from other centers to have a different system and different setting, and this is not evident. A big question is what is the importance of the weight of the metadata in this process. The metadata is a clinical characteristic. Does we need them or not? Of which of them are very crucial and some of them maybe are not important. And then we expect to go to an international conference next year, because this year it was totally impossible, to show our tools, our results. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question.
Thank you very much for this very, very nice presentation. So I think we have time for questions.
Are there any questions?
Okay, so maybe I can start. So at the end, very end of your project and development, naive question. What will be the gain for the patient or the doctor? Speed in the...
There is two gains. For the first one, maybe it's for the doctor, so I don't answer to the question. But if we make something completely automatic, the doctor can have the results and the quantification before the patient go away from the department. So when the doctor meets the patient, he gets the results. What is important is also for the myocardial viability, we have some specific value to know if the injury is problematic or if the patient can recover. And if we do visually, it's not reliable. If we have a specific parameter, we can say, okay, this patient can recover after myocardial infarctions, or unfortunately not.
Okay.
I have a question. I don't know whether you had hard time to work with artificial intelligence, and whether you think that this may be something that would be, because it's obvious that this is something that is going to increase in the years to come, and what are the needs in our region for that? So would you think that it would be important to invest and maybe attract people, the best people to have this at hand for our community?
Yes, definitely yes, and we must take now artificial intelligence as a tool. So we must have people that manage artificial intelligence very well to develop this kind of project. And because in image processing and in medical image processing, I would like to say 95% of the presentation of the work is with artificial intelligence. And the issue, and maybe we must work on that, is the creation of data set. And we are late about that. There is Google, Amazon, etc. that create a lot of data set. And in the medical domain, they start also. So maybe this is one features of artificial intelligence we must work on.
Okay, one maybe last question. So as you know, I am working in a biochemistry lab. So do you think biochemistry and biological marker like troponin will disappear once you develop your system?
To be honest, no. I think the best result during the challenge are teams that merge information from image and clinical data, because the use of clinical data as troponin and other one is to discard a false positive. So when you do image processing, you detect an artifact, you say, okay, there is a disease, but at the end it's just artifact, and the clinical information can render a more robust system.
Okay, thank you. So.